Hi, I'm George, I'm in Aquarium Gardens, and this video is how I set up this awesome triptych. Do you know what a triptych is? It's 3 scapes in one. So enjoy the video. If you like it, hit that like button, smash that subscribe button, hit that bell notification, and you'll get automatically notified every time we upload an awesome aquarium video. Keep on scaping. So we've got 3 Aquascape 300 cubes here from Evolution Aqua. Really cool tanks, 5mm thick glass, super low iron, so it's really transparent. Exactly what you need in aquascaping. Rimless, so no ugly braces or hoods. We've got over tank lighting, which makes maintenance really easy. It just looks really cool because you can actually see into the tank, and it's my favourite style of aquarium, and I very rarely use any other style. And we're going to try and create one bigger aquascape. So we're going to use some really cool techniques that I've never actually done myself before. I have seen it being done, so I can't take full credit for it. Okay guys, first thing I'm going to do is install this really cool product. Been using it in the last few aquascapes with great success. Done a FB1 substrate start. Take out its box, take the wrapper off, and then just sprinkle it evenly as you can amongst the 3 tanks. So this stuff is basically bacteria, and it's really good for kick-starting the cycling process in the aquarium. Substrate's a really important part of a planted tank, and actually you need bacteria in the substrate for the nutrients to become available to the plant roots. So if we get bacteria in there from the start, it means the plants can grow right from the beginning with absolutely no problem. So we've been using this last couple of scapes here at Aquarium Gardens. Do check it out. They've got their own YouTube channel now as well, which I've helped with. But the owner, Dave, is kind of going it alone. So do check him out. I think he's going to get a good camera soon, aren't you, Dave?
Hopefully.
He's behind the camera, by the way. So yeah, just spreading this equally. 1 packet for 3 tanks. Cool. Now we've installed our bacteria start. Next process in the substrate system is the Tropica plant substrate. Been using this for years. I mean, this first came out when I first started the hobby, almost, so about 12 years or so ago. They developed it a little bit. It's not quite as kind of organic as it used to be. Really good product, and it's a really good alternative to the commercially available soils that are out there. We're going for using a nutrient-rich base layer, which is this, and I'm going to top it off with an inert quartz gravel, which we'll talk about in a minute. But this stuff's really good, helps feed the plant roots, has a high cation exchange capacity, or CEC. What that does, it locks the nutrients from the water column into the substrate, and it makes those nutrients available to the plant roots. So really good stuff. So we are going to divide this up, hopefully into 3 equal kind of portions. Plant substrate out. Doesn't have to be totally flat, but it's just good to get quite an even coverage if we can on the bottom of the tank. Really important that this gets totally covered by gravel, because it will cloud your water quite extremely. So just bear that in mind. Just looking at the front of the tank, making it nice and flat. This bit's going to be viewed by the customers in the shop, so we want to make it as attractive as we can. We want to show off our scapes to the best we can.
You're not now. You are now.
Yeah. Okay, this is cool. This is called Unipack Samoa sand. It's about 1 to 2mm grain size quartz, so it's completely inert, doesn't contain any nutrients, doesn't increase water pH or hardness. Really good for planted tanks. It's quite a round grain as well, so if you've got sensitive barbelled catfish, etc., perfectly fine for those guys. So rather than trying to lift up this big bag and pour it in, I'm going to just pour it into a jug. Do like a nice big jug. And we just simply pour in A lovely Samoa sand or Samoa gravel? Sand, isn't
Call
it?
it Samoa sand.
Yeah. You could pre-rinse it if you wanted to. You could wash it. It's not that dirty compared to some gravels. Some of the worst I've ever seen is sea chem fluorite. Some of the Denelay planter hunter gravels as well. Bacal, do you remember that one, Dave?
Yeah.
Nightmare. Cloudy water for days. We don't actually need much sand in the bottom because we're not going to be planting into it much, if at all. So, if I haven't already said, guys, do subscribe to my channel. I have to say this because people will just watch it and not subscribe. So, if you do subscribe, you'll get notified every time I upload a really cool video. There's a little bell notification as well which you can hit, and then you'll get a like an automatic notification. If you just subscribe without hitting that bell, you only get notified occasionally. So hit that bell, smash that bell. Okay, we're rocking and rolling now. That's probably the last jug we need. Whoa. Okay, this is wood. This is called Manzanita wood, available from Aquarium Gardens all the way from, I think, Southern California. Really, really cool. I used it in a few aquascapes over the years, and we're going to use it in these three. Now I'm going to do something a bit different. I'm going to cut the wood, hopefully, really neatly with a hacksaw, and then I'm going to have the wood to look like it's going through all three tanks. So I'm not sure if it's going to work. If it does, then the video will be really good. If it doesn't, then the video is going to change quite dramatically. So yeah, see how we go. So I've got my man Dave selecting some stones for the scapes. Got quite a few, but always better to have too much than not enough. And these are just going to form part of the hardscape for our triptych. They've got such a huge access to amazing selection of hardscape here. I'm sure we can make something work.
Go.
Cool. Okay, so I've sawn the first piece of wood off. I've tried to saw it as flat as I can so we can offer that up to the flat glass. Now it's a bit low in the tank at the moment, so I'm going to just raise it up a bit with a nice stone. Got a huge piece here. So really cool shop here. So much aquascaping materials to use. What do you reckon, Dave? Does that look alright?
Yeah.
Sweet. And then if we just put another one on top, just to support that stone. Yeah. Because the wood might want to float for a couple of days. Sweet, that was easy. Okay, next section of wood. How's that lining up, Dave?
Excellent.
Cool. Move on to our third tank. We've got two pieces of wood for this. Okay, so we're following, you can see the wood threading through the tanks. I think it looks really cool already. Really pleased with how it's coming out, turning out. So let's do that about there. How's that looking, Dave? Do we need to... Oh, that's better,
That's
isn't it?
it, yeah, that way around.
Nice. And then we've got the smaller piece here, which is going to carry on from that.
Probably going to have to do some more sawing.
Unless we can, it'd be nice to have some coming out of the top, wouldn't it?
Oh yeah, that might work, yeah.
Does that look? Does that look natural?
Yeah.
Yeah? So if we just put a proper stone on there. Cool. And then I think we'll just pop one on there just to make sure it doesn't float. I wonder if we could even have the stones like looking like they're supposed to be like the same family together. Careful not to scratch the glass. Okay, I'm really pleased with it. It's looking really cool already, but it's lacking details and it's looking a bit empty. So a really cool selection of fossilised woodstone here, and I'm just going to carry on the process, creating hopefully a very natural looking layout. So I'm looking at this, I'm working from behind the tanks, but I'm hoping I can still create something that looks okay from the front. So I'm looking at the stones, I'm looking at the strata, and the strata is these natural lines that run through the stone, and we can use that to our advantage. We can line up the strata with all the rocks together so it flows, it has a very distinct kind of flow. Let's try that. And when I get in front of the tanks I'll get a better idea. So in aquascaping we think about harmony and we also think about tension. And harmony is basically when everything flows nicely, everything harmonises with each other, everything blends in with each other, and it's not offensive to the eye. It doesn't cause you any... It's almost a bit boring in a way because it's so smooth. Whereas tension, we can deliberately go against the grain, and we could deliberately, maybe you can see the stratas there running this way. If we wanted to create tension, we could have the strata running at a right angle to it, and maybe have something like this. But I'm just going to go for the harmonisation for now. And we've got some real kind of bold bits actually. Let's go a bit bolder. So this is going to create tension, this one here. It's a different colour, it's a lot darker. And the strata is running up and down rather than left to right. So I'm working kind of blind at the moment. How's that look, Dave?
Very good.
Is that alright? And we're just filling out the foregrounds a little bit just to add more interest to the layout. Kind of using some nature aquarium philosophy here, trying to create a sense of nature in the aquarium. And then, because we're not going to be using much plant, we're going to attach plants to the wood, but apart from that, I'm not really intending necessarily on adding plants to the substrate just yet. Although there is nutrient-rich base layer, it's still useful. It still helps to take nutrients out of the water, which will potentially help avoid algae. And we can always plant in there at a later date, so if we so wish. If we could do another stone, there's a nice flat bit there. We'll get another flat stone. It's quite flat, a bit too big. Oh, genuine sneeze. Oh, what's all this dust? Okay, that's going to lead on from that. You probably can't see that, guys, but people coming in the shop and they look in the tank from above, they'll see all these extra details that I'm doing. I don't think this influences the water chemistry, Dave, this stone, does it?
Nah, minimal.
Yeah,
yeah,
that's good. So the shrimp are going to love this. There's loads of surface area for them to explore. I think we're going to go for a mono shrimp only in these tanks. These are actually going to be the shop selling tanks, so really cool. Not many shops aquascape their selling tanks, so just another USP to aquarium gardens. Okay, I've got some super cool plants here. A lot of them are removed from the previous scapes that were here, but we've got some new pots as well. We've got some Bucophalandra Red from Tropica. This is quite new to the hobby, really cool. Doesn't need much light, doesn't need CO2 injection. Anubias Nana Paxing, I've never actually grown this before, looks very similar to Anubias Petite or Bonsai. This is from Aquaflora. We've got some leftover Bucophalandra there. We've got some really cool boosts from our friends Aqua Nova from Holland. This is Bucophalandra Deep Purple. So, don't think I've actually grown this one before, so that's cool. And then we've got some good old Java Fern already attached to our lava rock there. Another one here. We've got some Bulbitis as well. Might struggle in this tank, but we'll see how we go. And then some good old Microsorum Trident, one of my favourite plants of all time. So we're going to put these in the tank. Oh, last but not least, we've got some Cryptocorini Lutea Hobbit, which is a really cool crypt, very small, stays quite small, and changes colour as well once it adapts to its underwater growth. Okay, so I've prepped my Anubias here, and I've also got a bit of Bulbitis. I'm going to spread it quite equally amongst all three tanks. I'm deliberately going to mix all the species together, create a nice cohesive theme. If I just stuck with one plant in there, one plant in here, one plant in there, I think it would look a bit too fragmented, not very natural, so that's why I'm going to mix the species up. So to prepare, the plants are already prepared there from the previous layout. I did prepare one of the pots, really easy to do. You can see how to do that in loads of my other videos, but yeah, really easy to do. Trim the roots back, that stimulates new root growth, makes planting much easier as well, and yeah, we'll just do that right now. So all I do to attach the Anubias is poke it in these cracks. You can glue it, or you can tie it on a fishing line or cable ties, but I just find this is the much quickest way to do it. Not much quickest, that doesn't even make sense. The quickest way to do it, and yeah, it's just easy. I don't like using thread. I find it really, I'm quite cack-handed, so I find it really difficult to use. Super glue can leave marks. We will use some super glue in a little bit though, but I'll show you how to do that. But with the Anubias, we are literally just popping it in those cracks there. What will happen is over time, Anubias is a very slow grower, but over time the roots will take hold themselves. They'll creep over the hardscape, anchor themselves, and they'll be very secure. Put a bit more glue on. It's in like a little crevice, so it shouldn't show up in the aquascape. Let's try that instead this time. So with Bulbitis, also with Anubias and Microsorum and Bucophilandra, it's important that we don't bury the rhizome in the substrate, which is why we tend to attach it to our hardscape. And using glue, I find, is the second easiest way to attach it. The first easiest way, like I did before, just by pushing it into cracks. Okay, you can see probably the white stuff there, that's the glue. Had to use loads of glue to stick it on. So top tip, we don't want to see that glue, it's horrible, it's white, it's ugly, it doesn't look natural. So counterintuitively I'm putting more glue on, but then cover it with this beautiful Christmas moss. Moss is great, adds a real sense of maturity to the layout. This has been growing, this moss has been growing for 12 months now in one of the Aquascape 600 display tanks in the shop. You can see a full-on cinematic video of this Aquascape in the link above. Okay, now I'm going to attach some Trident Fern. Now there is a little hole in this bit of wood here. I'm not going to try and force it in there, I don't think it will fit, but what I'll do is use that hole, stick some glue in there or around it, and then that will hopefully anchor the rhizome of our Trident Fern. So if you can hear the kettle in the background, that's Dave making us a coffee, and let's just stick that on there like so. Hopefully that's going to stick. Please stick. Okay, I'll pop that one there instead, and then let's put this one back where we were. This is hopefully going to stop the wood from floating away, you see, so it is important that we need that there. And then let's just tuck this bit of Anubias in here. 2 portions. So we're only running 6 watt LEDs on these, so it's not bright light. We're not going to use CO2 injection. We're only going to have a Marno shrimp in here, so I'm hoping that we won't run into any algae problems. How many do you reckon we'll have at any one time in each tank, Dave? Probably 30 or so?
Yeah, 30, 50 in each tank.
Yeah. And the filtration is so basic, we just use Eheim surface skimmers. Looking good. Plants are looking good, healthy. Should grow nicely in these tanks. Hopefully you can see the themes developing quite nicely now. If If you like this scape, guys, comment in the comments below. Let us know what you do differently. If you think you could do better, that'd be cool. We like feedback. We like constructive feedback, especially. Looking quite good. We've done most of the plants. We've got some Bucophilandra to put in. Probably around here. Just looking for the empty spaces where it look the best. But it's definitely running. It's definitely a strong thing. So yeah, I'm really pleased. It's like a U-shaped composition, isn't it? I wonder if we actually put some plants around here and around here, and then it definitely kind of all blends in. Okay, I'm going to show you how we prepare Bucophilandra species red from Tropica. Remove the label. The label's really great, got all the information you need, how big it gets, how fast it grows, and the lighting requirements. Boosh! Next we remove the rock wool from the pot, peel it away in 2 equal portions like so. Boosh! Tell me if you like the sound effects or not. Boom! Been watching a lot of Peter McKinnon YouTube and thought I'd copy him basically. I figured I'm quite serious usually in front of camera, and I'm not actually a serious guy. If you speak to anyone that actually knows me very well, they'll definitely tell you that I'm not serious. So I thought I'd try to show you a bit more of my personality. There we go. Okay, there's our Bucophilandra red, all prepared, ready to pop into the Aquascape 300s.
Yes.
And you can I've definitely got enough room.
Yeah, you can still do your hand, it's fine.
Okay, cool. Okay, so what a mess. Look at the state of this. This is what aquascaping is all about. Creating a huge mess. But look at that. That's what it's all about really.